the right kind of guests are invited on the International Fab Talks from whom we can derive strength, from whom we can derive a lot of joy and peace in their company, who are able to give us that feeling that, yes, I've been through it, and I'm sure you too will face all the difficulties without much suffering or without much thought. When we meet people who have been through a lot of ups and downs, it gives us the courage to face our own fears, our own problems in life. So, dear friends, today it's time to welcome our celebrity guest. He's joining us all the way from Florida, USA. He's none other than Mr. Lonnie Jackson. Mr. Lonnie Jackson has taken out some time for us to share his journey with us, to enlighten us on this special day that is Women's Day. Let me put it right. What role do men play in the lives of women, and what role do women play in the lives of men? We're going to discuss all of this. It could be in the form of a mother, in the form of a spouse, in the form of a sister, a brother. We'll just discuss how life takes its turn and makes us more strong and resilient as we connect with one another. So, dear friends, it's time to welcome our celebrity guest now. He's none other than Mr. Lonnie Jackson, a beautiful person with a lovely heart. We'll get to know more about him. We'll say hi to him and then begin the journey on the International Fab Talks. Hello, sir, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for being here today with us. It's a pleasure to have you, Lonnie, on this platform.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for obliging to share your time. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much. I just go ahead and briefly share your profile and we begin the session.
Of course. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So, dear friends, I'd like to share more about our celebrity guest. He is an actor, but before becoming an actor, he was connected with the US Army. To put it right, he was very, very professional in his work, connected to working for his country. Now he's a US veteran. And apart from that, he's also been connected with the US Department of Corrections. What is this? We'll get to know. What was his role? We'll get to know about it. And Lonnie Jackson is also a cancer survivor, and he has a lot of tragedy behind him. He has left it all behind, and he has connected with happiness and joy, spreading peace across everywhere. He's also connected to something called as the spiritual zone. Let's see what is it. That I'm going to keep a secret. As the discussion goes forward, we'll get to know all of it. But today's guest is quite interesting because he has been through life and has faced the toughest of challenges in his life. Let me put it right. He has faced the toughest challenges in his life and yet has a gentle smile on his face. And that is what I love about our guest today. All of us face little difficulties and we have a big frown on our face. But here is a person who has faced such a lot and yet shining like a star amongst all of us. So let's begin this journey with Lonnie Jackson. Thank you so much for being here, sir. It's a wonderful day at your space and our space as well. Thank you so much for being here. I'd like to go on with the first question. As of today, how would you like to describe Lonnie Jackson after being through all the ups and downs, through the professional, zone and personal ups and downs? How would you like to share your journey till date? In just a few words, how would you describe Lonnie Jackson for us today on the International Fab Talks?
An overall survivor. I've been through so many, even before I was from the age 9 is when the tragedy started. And all through my life, things that I've had to overcome. So all those tragedies together, I have survived, and I am a better person for learning how to deal with so many different tragedies in my life that not everyone may even have the opportunity to deal with or know how to deal with tragedies. And hopefully through this conversation that they will be able to find places and resources to reach out and help them to get through their feelings.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. Thank you very much. Lonnie, I'd like to ask you this, if I may. You said that at the age of 9 itself, your journey of pain and struggles began. What was it that really brought that pain for a young child as young as 9?
dramatic turn. My parents, my mother and my stepfather, had committed suicide when I was 9 years old. And it was a couple months apart. So my stepfather, my mother committed suicide first, and then my stepfather had found her. And then a few months later, he had committed suicide, and I was the one that had found him. So if you can imagine at 9 and being the youngest of 6 at the same time, losing both parents. So that's where the tragedy started from then. And then you just have to work through different diversities from there, just at a young age, being separated from your siblings, going through the foster care system, growing up in a children's home, until the time that I graduated high school, and then going into the military. There's a lot of transition. There's a lot of layers there that you have to go through. And when it starts out young like that, different people can learn different ways how to cope with that. And not everyone can. Not everyone has the ability to. Not everyone is afforded the ability to. You know, different economic backgrounds, the standards, the area you're from, it can all dictate your life, and you not have a say-so in it. Although at the age of 9 is where it started, and I'm going to use the word fortunate, and then I'll explain why I say fortunate. I was one of the fortunate ones because I was so young, and where I ultimately ended up living the rest of my childhood after going to several different foster homes was a place that is not too far from where I live, actually, a children's home. And there was lots of diversity there. There were 50 children there who lived in a combination of 4 different houses there on the property. So imagine living with 49 other children, 49 different backgrounds, 49 different reasons why they are there, 49 different ways that they are coping. I was fortunate to come out on the good side of that.
Thanks, Lonnie, for sharing that. You shared that, and it makes me, you know, I'm just short for words, because at 9 it's quite difficult to comprehend all of this, and then being sent to
Yes.
foster homes, and you still have a smile on your face, and you say you're fortunate that you've overcome all of these different things in your life. That's really nice. We're going to celebrate Women's Day very soon, just in 2-3 days. Like on 8th of March, we're going to celebrate Women's Day. Now, many of the women out there, they have a lot of complaints. They face, of course, some domestic violence at home, or maybe they are not treated well in their workspace or by their family, friends, and family, etc. All of that. Now, when they compare life with one another, in case if they compare their life with you, what could they learn from you? What is it? It's not like any gender here we are talking about. What I'm trying to put forward to our audience is like, no matter what gender you belong to, but the pain, the way you have endured the pain, the way you're standing up tall and strong like a warrior. So what is the message you'd like to give all the women who are going through a tough time in their lives? I want a beautiful message from Lonnie Jackson to all the women out there before we go on to the next journey about discussing life with you.
Okay. Understanding and thinking about all the women that's out there from across the globe. So, I do understand there are a lot of restrictions in some countries that are placed on women where they are not afforded opportunities to speak out, to seek help. If they're able to even have a close confidant within their family where they can speak, whether it be another female in the house or a female in the family, it's very important that they are able to use their voice. If they are not able to speak out, maybe their friend, their coworker, their family member, perhaps they may have a way to seek assistance for that young lady. And every lady's a young lady. I don't care if you're 9 or 90. It's you have got to figure out a way to have a voice. You cannot go on living your life in that manner. Now, and like I said before, I understand all these different countries, there are some with restrictions on women. Whether we like it or not, there are some of us who our hands are tied. And we can't, here, women are free to come and go as they please. They are free to speak. They are free to go and do things and talk to people, talk to professionals, talk to mental health providers. Not every country is open to that for women. Now, I know so if you're in a country that you could privately speak with someone, say like through a Zoom call or a video call, one of your friends, maybe that's in another country, whatever, however, but you can't keep it bottled up inside. If you keep it bottled up inside, it can definitely cause health issues within you. And that's not good either. So find your voice and make it heard.
Excellent, Lonnie. That's really nice. Find your voice and be heard. That's really nice. Not to suffer in silence. Voice out whatever you're facing. Seek help from the
Yes.
right kind of people. I really love this. That's really nice. Thank you for that wonderful message for all the women out there in the world. Now, Lonnie, I'd love to know about your journey as an actor. When did this passion begin, as a youngster or after you like retiring from the US services like the army service, after that, or you had this passion right from when you were a little boy?
It actually started on the set of The Vampire Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
My wife of 17 years, who this coming May will have passed 5 years past. I retired from the Department of Corrections for one reason.
Mhm.
My wife had been injured in a medical procedure where a nerve had been severed. At that time, before we knew which nerve it was, we had to go through all these different doctors and all these different places to get testing done. Once we figured out exactly which nerve it was, we were told there are people who can correct that. However, there's only 5 in the world, surgeons, who can fix that. So we went up to South Carolina for a medical test, and her favorite show at the time was Vampire Diaries. On our way back, I took her through where it's being filmed, or at the time it was being filmed. And we just did a walking tour through the town. And one of the houses that was being used on this show was for sale. She wanted it. We came back to Florida, retired, cashed out my retirement, used the whole retirement as a deposit on that house. So we lived for 3 seasons, seasons 5, 6, and 7, in a house that they were using for film for the Vampire Diaries. So during her later years, she was able to interact with her favorite actors, her favorite characters, her favorite, the people that she looked forward to watching every week on television. Through that, we decided to flip a coin. And what I mean by that is we did not want that house to be a museum where no one can touch it. We wanted to open it up to the community, to guests, visitors, people to stay overnight, take their shoes off, put the feet up on the couch, feel at home. Coming from the military and working in a correctional, 4 different correctional facilities before I retired, you are expected to act a certain way. You're expected to portray a certain persona, rough, tough, whatever. Never had that smile on your face when you're at work, especially in the prison system. You're there to do a job and do that job. So when we left that and opened our arms to people from all over the world, actually, who came there just to visit, and there were a lot of visitors from everywhere, it was overwhelming. we were greeted by the visitors and appreciated for what we were doing for them. And it put such a smile on my wife's face that she was able to do that. Now, we only owned it for 3 seasons, and they filmed one more season after we sold it. As her health had been declining, where she could no longer walk up the stairs to get into the home, it was time to sell it. But it gave her 3 very great years that just changed her, and she really loved it. And it's something that you can't take away. You cannot take those memories away. They're great memories. I have so much stuff here and so much stuff in in my storage room that are full of thank you notes, memorabilia, little trinkets, gifts from all the people that visited. And even in my living room, I have a shelf where my wife is the center of attention. And a few pictures and stuff from the set, and pictures with actors from the show and fans of the show. Oh, there's a question in there. I got sidetracked. So yes, being able to interact on that show for the 3 years, you got to see a lot of behind the scenes goings on, how to make TV, how to do movies, films, anything. So that's where I was really starting to get, that's where the interest came from. That's where the interest came from.
Thanks, Lonnie, for sharing that. I mean, you made me imagine all of that the way you were sharing it, you see. You've given me like a clear picture of what happened and how you took it forward and what are the things you still have and cherish. All of that. That's really nice. Lonnie, we'd love to know about, you see, now what, it's a very sensitive question. I'd love to know about this one thing, like when were you diagnosed with cancer? I mean, was it recently after the death of your wife or was it before?
So if you can imagine, okay, my wife being ill, she couldn't make it up the stairs anymore. So we sold the house and we moved into an RV, a recreational, you know what an RV is? Okay. So that it was easier for her to maneuver around. She had counters, things to hold on to move. It was at that point where I was diagnosed with cancer. So we were going back and forth to Atlanta for all the different doctors for her, trying to figure out, because that one severed nerve was just the tip of the iceberg. She ended up with so many things going wrong with her body that the doctors were trying to figure out exactly what was wrong and how to fix it. At the same time, I then get diagnosed with cancer. So if you can imagine, I'm trying to take care of you. And now at the same time, she's trying to take care of me. Because now I've got cancer. They haven't figured out how to help her.
If I may ask you this, Lonnie, what type of cancer was it?
It was in the throat.
Throat cancer. Okay.
Yes. So, yeah, this side of my neck, smooth as a baby's bottom. After my cancer, I had 2 surgeries and radiation. A year after that, a year and 5 months, she said that I was well enough that I could take care of myself. And she passed. So she hung on through all of her pain to take care of me.
True love. Right?
My wife. That's when she passed. But she held on until she knew I could take care of myself before she did that. Even through her own pain. Even without a complete diagnosis. A way to fix her illness. She held on until she knew I could take care of myself. Now, I see, excuse me,
Yes.
that when you've looked at some of my videos on my YouTube channel, there was a short 6.5 minute non-dialogue video on there. That was a short film that I had written for a local film competition. And it had to be there. When we do those, we are given like categories, genres. And that one of the choices was non-dialogue. So I chose to write that. And it forces you to think, use your mind. Whereas there's voices, there's noises everywhere on every screen, every movie, every TV show, whatever, where you can do, you could be playing on your phone and still pay attention. On a non-dialogue, you have to pay attention. You have to watch and pay attention. The story there was, don't dwell on the bad things that's happened. Instead, remember those happy moments. If you keep all that bad stuff inside, what did I say earlier? It just makes you sick. You cannot do that. You have to let it out. You have to share. That was my way of sharing. Remember the good times that you had with that loved one. Don't dwell on anything bad. It's in the past. Remember the good times, the happy memories. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Lonnie. You've taken me deeper. Thank you for that.
I know I did.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for giving me that space to get to know you better. Thank you so much. I've also heard that you're connected with paranormal activity, if I'm not mistaken. If if you could take us on that journey as well. What is it and when is it that this journey began? If you can share that with us.
It actually began in the house that we bought from the Vampire Diaries. Now, the Vampire Diaries, they didn't own the house. So the house that was for sale that was being used on the Vampire Diaries, that house had many spirits within it. And the spirits would let you know if there were good things, bad things going on. And my wife had the ability to communicate with the spirits. So every year at Halloween, we had a testing period, if you'd like, whereas we would put up a decoration. If the spirits didn't like it, they would knock it off the table. We had, there was a little boy and a little girl, children that were spirits within inside the house also. There was a little cast iron horse, had a broken leg. They would take the leg and move it to different places, and we would look all over the place for it. We had wood blinds on the windows, and one morning we got up and one of them had moved a dining room table over in front of the window, and those wood blinds were open so they could see outside. We could hear voices inside. I was sitting there at breakfast one morning with one of the guests, and then there was this female voice that says, "Good morning." And we looked at each other and like, "Did you hear that?" Yes. And then we were like looking to see, was anyone else awake? Was anyone else up? And it wasn't. Now, so all that was my first real interaction with spirits. When I came after my wife had passed, and I was told I needed to come home from living up outside of Atlanta, that I needed to come home where family could take care of me, because I was only a year and a half out from the cancer treatments at the time. I had all of my wife's there are so many different variations of beliefs, teachings. So you have all these different books that are centered on whatever it is that you are learning. So you don't throw those books in the garbage. You don't throw or give that stuff away to just anyone, because if not used correctly, they can have bad outcomes. So I went to a place here in Florida that's called Casadega, and it's a very spiritual place. My wife and I had been out there several times before we moved up to Atlanta. We would go out there all the time and just visit and do like ghost hunts and use all the different um, things that they use now for spirits. So you could like spirit box and you could hear them and things like that. But they started teaching classes, or they had been teaching classes anyway. But I started going to classes out there. It's only 10 minutes away from where I live. And the young lady who is the teacher of the class that I like to go to teaches you how to communicate with the spirits. And there are so many different ways, from looking at someone's face, looking deep down inside of them, looking over their shoulders, finding people from their past that have messages for them. All of that kind of stuff is what she teaches. And there are so many toolboxes or tools within the toolbox that you can use to help you communicate. So I started learning how to do it myself because she could do it. And it still gives me something to hold on to. You know, you don't, when you lose that loved one, you don't just walk away and move on to whatever, whoever. I still want that attachment. And this helps. That's how I got into the spirits.
Thank you for sharing that journey, Lonnie. Very interesting. And it's a good message for other people as well, because you see, many of the couples in today's world, they don't want to be with their spouses. Many of them cheat. And while they are living, they create a hell for one another, or for each other, to put it right. If they are spouses, I mean, for each other, they create a living hell for them. Even after she's gone from your life, your spouse, you have such a lot of love and respect for her. You want to be connected to her. You want to be attached to her thoughts and memories. And you also mentioned that you have a lot of collection of the various things that were gifted to you from your fans and well wishers. You have all of that. That's really wonderful, Lonnie. That's great. Now, I want to ask you about your life after your recovery. I mean, I hope you're completely recovered. If I'm not mistaken, you're completely recovered, right? Yeah. So, how is the journey now after recovering from cancer? How is it now? And what is the message you have for other cancer survivors, or who are undergoing the process of, getting treated for cancer?
The biggest thing is, you know your own body, and you know when something isn't quite right. You have to be persistent. You have to go to the doctor. And if you don't accept what they're saying, go to a different doctor until you find the answer to what is going on with your own body. So that is what we did. Now, you have to have support, because going through, you got, from the time you are diagnosed, you have to go into your surgeries, or depending on the severity of the cancer, sometimes you have surgery, sometimes you have radiation, sometimes you just have chemotherapy, sometimes there's nothing that they can do because it's progressed to the age or stage that there is nothing that they can do. I knew my body. and I knew something was wrong. We took care of it. Not everyone has the ability to do that, but you have go to your doctor's appointments, do all the stuff that they recommend for testing. As we get older, there are certain things they want to test you for or make sure that you are tested for that just comes with age. Don't push all that stuff aside. You need to do it. You need to encourage your family members to do that. Your friends, your family, everyone needs to do that. And you have to have a support system, someone that can help you along the way. I went through a very dark period when I was brought back. There was, I didn't want to go outside. Just stay in my room in a very dark place. People cope with those things very differently. It may be a slow progression to where you just, because like mine coupled, my cancer coupled with the passing of my wife. You know, that's a double whammy. People who are just cancer survivors, you know, again, depending on the cancer that it is and the severity, you still have to have the support system that can help lift you up, help you keep your head up high, keep positive thoughts. Negative thoughts can kill you too. If you keep thinking, I'm never going to get through this, you're telling yourself to give up. But you've got all this time ahead of you. Why give up? You know, if you have kids and grandchildren, great grandchildren, there are things that you haven't done. Maybe you have a bucket list, things that you were wanting to do still with your life. Just because you have cancer, you don't shut down up here. You can still look forward to those things as long as you have support. So you can get to a better place. It's not the best place. You can get to a better place in your life. And if you don't believe it, you will never get there.
Thanks, Lonnie. Thank you so much for that wonderful message. Thank you for giving us that assurance that you need to bounce back. You cannot stay in
Yes.
that dark place. You have to come out and shine and connect with others, fulfill all the things that you wanted to do, complete your bucket list, and have a wonderful life. That's great. Lonnie, I'd like to have a small session with you called as the rapid fire round. It's a small session where you have to share your likes and dislikes, and then we go on with the next session. Yes?
I didn't quite understand.
I repeat it for you. We'll
Yes.
have a small segment called as the rapid fire round.
Oh, rapid fire round.
Rapid fire round. And like
Okay.
I'm asking you questions and you have to answer just in one word, maximum one sentence.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
Yep. Sounds fun. Let's do it.
Oh, great. That's great. Your favorite food? One.
Oh, fried chicken.
Do you cook well?
Not really.
You love cooking?
Cookies? Yes.
Now, to keep yourself fit and strong, each, as you've mentioned, we have to take care of our physical health and mental health as well. So, how do you stay slim and trim, and how do you take care of your health? Is it through walking, gymming, yoga, swimming? What is it that keeps you fit?
Walking. Walking.
How many steps do you complete per day?
I don't count. When I'm able, every other day, I do 3 miles on a treadmill. Walking. 3 miles. 1.8 kilometers, I think.
Lonnie, do you have a sweet tooth?
Yes.
Would you like to share the name of the sweet that you love to eat?
Ice cream.
Oh, there are different flavors. Which flavor do you love?
Butter pecan.
Ronnie, when you were in school, let me put that right. When you were in school, your favorite subject?
Lunch.
Lunchtime? Good humor, huh?
Um,
Math, English, science, social studies.
I guess probably social studies.
Would you like to share the name of your favorite teacher when you were in school? Any teacher impacted your life so well, spoke to you lovingly, was very compassionate towards you if you didn't complete your homework on time?
Mrs. Cooper, 4th grade.
You didn't stop for a second. It just came out quickly. That's great. Your favorite breakfast?
Oatmeal, brown sugar, cinnamon.
Your favorite month? Is it difficult?
It is, that one's a difficult one. October.
Any reason for that? Specific reason?
Halloween is in October.
Mm-hmm.
We were married on Halloween.
Oh, wow. I get that now. I understand. That's really nice. Your favorite kind of music?
Pop.
Are you good at singing?
I used to be.
Would you like to would you like to share a song with us, a tribute, either to your spouse or to who's right up there in heaven? Would you like to sing a song for her, or you would like to sing a song for your well-wishers now who are here along with us? A lovely song from your heart.
Um,
Am I pressurizing you a lot?
you're pushing your luck. The one song, it's like my memory isn't as good with like words and stuff as it once was. Um, The first song that my wife loved me singing was actually a country song from Toby Keith called How Do You Like Me Now?
Will you sing for us a few lines?
It goes, how do you like me now? Now that I'm on my way. What is that? Living in your radio. Um, I'm I would have to look it
I
up.
understand. I understand.
Yes.
Thank you for being so kind to share those lines with us. That's really nice. Lonnie, according to you, how would you describe a beautiful day today, like now in your life? How would you describe a beautiful day? Earlier, your spouse was there with you and you used to spend time with her. I mean, you were in love with each other and very loyal and respected each other's presence. Now you are at this moment talking with me and you are continuing your journey, in life. So, on a normal day, like we all think that this is how life should go on, this is how life should be. And this is a beautiful day for me today. Like, how would you
Hmm.
define a beautiful day from your end? What do you think a beautiful day for you is today? I mean, in this present era, like now. Is it peace, justice, happiness, laughter, fun, connecting with people?
Peace.
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 How would you define peace?
Sometimes I will sometimes I will walk down to the park that's not too far from here and just take a walk through the park. And inside the park there are a bunch of crows. My wife shared with me that she used to have a crow that she would play with when she was very young. And I remember that. And so I talk to the crows
That's nice.
when I'm in the park.
Do you feed them as well?
No, I don't take anything to feed them. I just talk to them.
That's great. Lonnie, do you believe in second chances? Do you believe
Second
in second
chances?
chances? Yeah.
Definitely.
After you've been, working for the US military, retiring from there, and continuing your journey after that, like you might have been meeting several people, you might have been socializing a lot, as you mentioned, the Vampire Diaries and all of that. You met different people. There were lots of guests coming and going, and you met different actors and actresses, like from the film fraternity or the acting community, to be precise. Towards the end of all of this, now, as if I ask you this question, you love socializing or me time? What is it that you prioritize?
I socialize on um, online.
Mhm.
I don't go. I don't go out. I don't. The only time I'm out in public is if I am working, going to from like a film set. Other than that, I go get my groceries and I come right back. I go downstairs to the treadmill. I come right back. I don't go and hang out at restaurants, bars, clubs, meeting places. other than that one class, I don't socialize.
Thank you for sharing that. Do you have a pet as well?
A pet?
Yes.
Sheldon, my cat.
Is she available right there?
Oh no, he is
It's a he or a she now?
he.
He. Oh, is he around?
I don't see him, and
Because I'm too a cat lover. I love cats.
he is black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What's his name?
okay, I will give you his full name.
Okay.
Sheldon Moonpie Cooper Jackson. Now, do you know where that name comes from?
Mm-hmm.
His mama named him from another one of her favorite shows, Big Bang Theory. Sheldon Cooper, one of the main stars, and his grandmother used to call him Moon Pie. So she wanted him, that's her name for him. And so that's his name. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for sharing that. That's really great. That's really nice.
I knew I had a picture.
Mhm. That's wonderful. So thank you so much. Are you a tea or a coffee person? I guess I have the answer with me, but I'd love you to share that.
In the morning, coffee,
Mhm.
tea and water the rest of the day.
Lonnie, I'd like to ask you now about your journey when you were working for the US military. Was there any time you felt it was too tough a job to be in the US military? Like I wouldn't want to go into depths and ask you what you were working as and what was your duty over there, but I know that the working in the military or working in the armed forces is not an easy job. It's a risky one. So did you ever find yourself in a spot where you had to think that why have I ever joined, the armed forces? I mean, this question I would ask any soldier who was here, the armed forces. So I'm asking you this: did you ever feel like, oh my God, I'm in such a dangerous situation and it's a threat to my life? I mean, physical and mental health as well. Did you that cross your mind anytime, or you just faced everything bravely?
There was a point in the early 90s, I was working for NATO. And I can't tell you what we were doing, but it was a very trying period. And only a handful of people knew, well, it was a small number of people knew what we were doing. But it could have went one way or the other at any moment.
How does it feel today? You've overcome all the challenges on the professional front and personal front as well. And today you're able to share all of it. You have very clear thoughts when you're sharing. How does it feel today? When you look behind all of this that has happened to you.
Accomplished. I have accomplished a lot in my life, and there is one thing that we do every year is that we have a alumni meeting at the children's home where I grew up. And so I do go there and I meet with the other boys that are there and I speak with them about their past, why they are there, how they're doing, what are their needs. And that is actually not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to put together some videos while I'm there. And I'll probably see if I can talk to some staff members and get some interviews. I don't think it would be a good idea to talk to the children because most of the children that are there, you know, um, children, we need to have the permission of the adults to interview children. And the kids that are there, I don't feel it's appropriate to interview them, but I would like to have their story. I don't want to film them in an interview and then one of their relatives come at me because I filmed their son, nephew, whatever, and they didn't know about it. These are just, you have to be very careful in the film industry that you have all your agreements in place, everything signed by the correct people, so that everything is nice and legal. Yes, you don't want to, but I would like to put together a piece while I'm there and show like the whole, as much of it as I can, what they do there, and wrap it up into a nice little package and add that to the one of the YouTube channels. I've got my own YouTube channel, but we are going to be starting a regular channel. And we want it to be this type of platform, what you and I are doing. And the name of it is Let's Talk About It. I have it on YouTube, but I haven't released it yet because I'm waiting to put more episodes on there before I release it.
Interesting to know, Lonnie. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Very interesting.
Yes.
Lonnie, would love to know about something special from you now. Imagine a film was produced on your life journey, about your life. You're going to have a movie or a book written about you. What would be the title of either the movie or the book?
Hmm. You shouldn't have done that in ninth grade. um, the, oh, if there was a book or a movie, hmm, the life and times, lifetimes, tragedies of, Lonnie Jackson, the man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, wow. I love this.
You have to look at titles and see what's available, and yes, it's crazy. I don't know. I never really thought about it.
But your life story is really worth, transforming it into a film or into a big book, like, an autobiography or a biography if somebody else is writing it for you. It would really be interesting because it's like you've been through too much and you're smiling. And when you're talking, also, you're very thoughtful. You know what to talk. You're just waiting patiently, listening, and then answering. You're sharing it from within. That's beautiful. So, hoping to see a film on you very soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, I hope to have some more stuff up, and I sent you links to my social media. I love interacting online with people. Um, I I love creating, being creative.
What is it that you love about yourself? What is it that you love about Lonnie Jackson?
Hmm. The one thing that I guess I would say would be being able to relax, sit down, relax, meditate, and you know, women always say, "What are you thinking about?" And yeah, I know, I saw that. You're saying, yeah, yeah, we do. Um, I don't have to think about anything. I could just sit there and nice and silent and just meditation, clear your mind, just silence. Don't think about nothing. That's a great time for me.
That's great. That's great, Lonnie. Thank you for sharing that. One last question before I sum up. Excuse me for
You
that.
said that last time.
No, this is the last one.
Go ahead.
This is the last one. See, each one of us have a limited time on this planet, on this earth. We live for very
Yes.
few years. Now, when it's time for us to leave and we are no more on this planet, how would you want people to remember Lonnie Jackson? In what way people should remember you?
I want them to remember me in that it doesn't matter everything that you go through in life, you you have to find the strength, the courage, the people, the wherewithal to get through everything, find answers, do what you have to do, honor people, treat people the way you want to be treated. No one is more or less than you. We're all on equal planes. We all put our, as the one term would go, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. It does not matter how poor, how rich you are. You could be the richest person in the world, but how you portray yourself can make you the ugliest person in the world. Those things can balance out. A very beautiful woman, how she acts, what she expects from other people, can make her very ugly. If you could live your life and not let your life live you, you've won everything.
Thanks, Ronnie. That's really nice. A beautiful journey with you. Imagine you have a time machine in your hand, and we ask you to click the red button that is visible over there, which will take you into the past era. And there's a little task for you. You have to relive somebody's life for 4 weeks and return back. If this task was given to you, whose life you would love to relive and return back? We'd love to know whose life you'd love to relive and return back.
In my opinion, and we all have opinions, it would be Abraham Lincoln.
Beautiful selection.
The one thing that I really look up to him about was not his grand stature, his height. When he freed he abolished
Slavery.
slavery. Yes. Um, people of color should not have to be subservient to anyone. Doing that one thing, in my mind, made him very great. And if I could go in a time machine and have the ability to do that, that would be great.
Thanks for sharing that, Lonnie. Thank you very much. We'd love you to, towards the end, we'd love you to share with us 3 gifts in the form of 3 words that come to your mind. The first 3 positive words that come to your mind is a gift for us towards the end of the session.
First 3 words that come to my mind: treat everyone respectfully.
Excellent. Wonderful. You've been doing that right from the start till now. Thank you for treating me with lots of kindness and respect. Many, many thanks for being our guest on the International Fab Talks. We look forward to many more interactions with you. Thank you for your patience. And thank you for taking me deep into your life. You made me relive certain experiences when you were sharing all of that. Stay happy, stay blessed, and stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lonnie. God bless you. Thanks.
You're most welcome.
So, dear friends, with this, we come to an end now to the International Fab Talks for today. I had a wonderful time getting to know this gentleman. He's a perfect blend of modernity, tradition, and of course, willpower, resilience, etc. I'm sure each of us could learn something from our guest today. Do share this video with the right kind of people who may be inspired by what was being shared today on the International Fab Talks. We have to be courageous in the face of danger, in the face of hardships. No backing away and no being a coward. Let's face life bravely, just as Lonnie Jackson has done till date. And if you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. Prioritize peace, happiness, and joy around you. Don't forget to love yourself and protect the environment as well. Stay blessed. Thank you, sir.